Hello, my name is Tanya Sweet, and I work with Encompass Solutions. We've developed an EDI integration tool called Entrust, and I'm in a demo today with the Infor Visual ERP. I'm going to cover this at a high level of an order to invoice process, but should you have additional questions or want to see a deeper level demo, please reach out to me. Today I'm covering purchase orders, order confirmations, advanced shipping notices, and AR invoices. The process is fully integrated into Visual, and as you will see, there are triggers in Visual that will tell our software when to react. First, I'd like to cover a little bit of navigation of our dashboard. You'll see it on the screen now. You'll notice that along the top, I have different tabs for each document type. These are the documents that you have licensed and will be visible. Any additional documents would be here, or any retractions would also show up on our screen. There are some filters at the bottom that I'm going to talk about. The first filter will show us either documents on hold, approved, or deleted. The on hold documents are simply items that have yet to be processed into their final stage. If an 850 purchase order comes in and it lands in this dashboard, it just means it's not integrated yet into Visual. For the outbound documents, it means that it hasn't been translated to its final XML document that we will be sending back to the trading partner. Approved means that the order is now in Visual and that now there is an additional column here with the order ID, so you can quickly reference back to Visual what your order number is. And of course, deleted are any deleted items that have been deleted out of the dashboard. They can be resurrected back to the dashboard with simply the click of a button, but they are usually deleted for a reason. The filter in the middle here is simply a search tool, and I can type in any value that resides in any document, and I will get a return of any of the records that this applies to. If I click over to the on hold, I would see any that were there. If I click to the 855, and I see any that were, I would see any that were there. We additionally have export capabilities. With the click of a button, I can export to Excel, or I can export to CSV. And then lastly, on the right-hand side in the bottom, I have a document direction. This is defaulted to the most common direction for customer EDI. We also do supplier and buy-side EDI, and so it can be toggled to show those as well. Now I'm going to actually show you the process. And just keep in mind that I have kept all the on-hold options so that I can show you step by step. But in live scenarios, these steps will be completely automated, which allows you to manage by exception. I am going to bring in one file that has an exception, so you can see how that works as well. So to begin with, I'm going to drop in some files into a file watching program. These are the 3 files that I have ready to process for today. I'm going to put them into our inbound directory. Again, this would be automated. You wouldn't be actually moving any files across the system. I'm going to just give it a minute. There is a Windows service in the background that is watching this file folder for any new additions, and you can see they just disappeared off my screen. When it sees files, it's going to know it's time to process. So I'm going to close that and hop over here to the dashboard. I'm going to click refresh. And I'm going to click my filter to the on hold so that you can see those 3 that came in. I've named them very exciting names, PO123, PO456, and PO789. The 789 one is bad, and I can tell that quickly at a glance because you can see that it's highlighted orange. And we'll talk about that in just a minute, but I want to talk about the 2 good ones first. I can double click on this and open it up, and now I can see that entire XML populated now into this user interface so I can see values in fields. And this one has no issues, and so I can quickly process it and it will import right into Visual. Same with this top one. So I will do that now. And we can see that they are going to be order number 119 and 120 customer order numbers. They were successful. When I exit this screen, they will leave the on hold screen and are now over here in approved. And they have their order number attached to them, 119 and 120, so they are easy to find and see. I'm going to click over to Visual now and bring up the order. And it's a pretty generic order, just one line on it. It looks good. We've got a ship to ID, we've got a ship date, which is in the past just because it's a demo environment. I'm going to change my status to released, and this is the trigger that we are watching for with Entrust to allow the 855 to be created. The 855 is the order confirmation. I'm going to go ahead and do that with order number 120 as well. And I will release it. And save, and it is now released. In the background, there's another watching system that's watching for this flag to set to release, and the 855 is being generated. I'm going to go ahead and start the shipping entry as well, so we can see them at the same time. It just takes a minute or two to process in the background. I'm going to go ahead and process another order just to ship all for the ease of a demo. And then I'll just save it, and that ASN will be created in the background. And then I will ship also 120. And save that. I clicked one extra save I didn't need to do. Clicking back over to my dashboard now, I will go to the 855 screen, and then my filter needs to be back on hold. And here I have my two orders, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Now have an 855 created. Actually, it's still in the dashboard. We haven't created the 855, but I will in a second. If I open this, I can again now look at all of the details in this file. It's my demo customer. Here's my PO. I can click over to the line items and get a little more detail. And if I want to approve this, I can check mark this button, and I'll do both of them at the same time. It'll click approve. And an XML for an 855 has been created in the background. I will show you over in my file structure where that now is. It was an outbound document, so it will be in my outbound folder. And here is the actual XML that was just created. PO123 visual demo. So it's that easy. As long as there's no issues, it processes pretty well and pretty smoothly. And again, you would probably not come in here and click those buttons because you would want that to be automated. And now they're on the approved tab, 119 and 120. I'll click over to the 856 because we're going to be in the same boat here. I'll refresh it. Probably didn't hit save on that last one. Here is my PO123. I will check, mark this, approve it. And same story, I will have it now out in my folder. My 856. Outbound. Here it is. My shipment ID is 79. It doesn't show the PO in this particular document, or it does later down farther. But this is the one we just created, 318 at 12:20. And then if I click this open, oops, I need to go to my approved tab to find the one I just approved. I can actually see that XML file right from the dashboard and not have to go out file searching for it. So it's the same piece of data right here in the process. And then lastly, in Visual, we will go and invoice this. And our invoice will pop out as well. I'm not going to print it because I don't need to. I just need to create it. don't think I clicked well. Here's our shipment 79, so I'll just pick that one. It does take a minute in visual, and then it'll take a minute to arrive over in the dashboard. I'll let that process. So I just talked a little bit about some of the settings that we have in our dashboard. We do have user settings, which will allow you to have as many users as you need and to allow them the access that they need at their level. An administrator, of course, has all the access, but I may have a user that has less access. Maybe they're in AR and they should only be able to see the 810s, or maybe they should be able to see the 810s and the 850s, but you don't want them to change anything. You can allow them view access or read-write access. It can also be as granular as to a customer. So if you have a user who only ever works with one specific customer or a group of customers, you can actually allow their access by that. Just depends on your needs. That's a quick one. And then the other one that I like to talk about is our cross-reference settings. A lot of times trading partners send data that does not match what's in your ERP. One of the most common ones of that, of course, is country. And so we have a cross-reference that can help us with processing. And what it will do is when the trading partner sends in a country, for example, HCG, which is Hong Kong to them, but in ERP we have HK. The system will actually just automatically see that, know that that's the same thing, and translate it for you so that we're not hanging up on anything around country. And it's really just on the codes. ShipVia is another one that we see commonly. They're sending YRC in our ERP. It says yellow or Old Dominion. Granger is famous for sending some strange carriers, and they send numbers, and we don't have numbers in visual usually. We have letters, and so we do some cross-reference there. And then another one we see a lot is unit of measure. This is a case where a customer is sending the word box BOX, and our ERP actually is BX, and so we can do that easily. It does not do any conversions, so we would not take one each and turn it into 12 cases. We do rely on ERP to do that, and you can see that actually is called out in a note right here, just to remind you that it's really just a translation of data. It's not a conversion factor. I'm gonna hop over here and finish my invoice, and then back on hold and refresh. Should have two new ones out here, or one new one out here, sorry. Approve that one. It's exactly the same process. Say okay, exit. I'm going to just give it 1 minute, and then we should be able to see the XML document, both from here and over in our file folder. These are sitting here waiting for a communication software to pick them up and send them out to our trading partner. In this case, I don't actually have them going anywhere because it's a test database. I'll just show those real quick. There it is, and that's our invoice number is 75. So just really quickly, I wanted to go back to the one PO that actually failed here and just talk a little bit about what you can do when that happens. If I click to the on hold filter, I'll see this one, and I named it bad so I could quickly find it. It's very simple. Our part number was incorrect. There's a part number invalid, and the part number invalid is not in Visual ERP. So I could go and add that part number, or I could go back to my trading partner and say, you're ordering a part that doesn't exist, whatever's applicable to your situation. The other thing that I can do is actually, there's some overrides here. We don't override part number, but we could if we needed to. But if a ship via comes in wrong, so they send UPS and you're going to ship it via FedEx, you can just override that by clicking this button and saying revalidate, and then it will let it go into Visual the way it was, and it won't double check that. So we've got some overrides that come out of the box. We've got some more that we've built for other customers that are easily available. And then if you need something custom, we can also do that. So that's the easy validation. It does very clearly call out in the error what is missing. So if it's a bad ship via, it will say bad ship via or ship via doesn't match. If we're validating on zip codes and addresses, it will say this zip code does not exist. This address is incorrect. It gives really clear error messages. And we can also send you an email with that error that says, here's what's wrong, please go check, so that somebody can not be sitting on the dashboard all day, but could manage it through their email. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions or need more information, please feel free to reach out directly to me, and I would be happy to discuss further with you. Thanks, and have a great day.